Where everybody is a star, and the biggest star is you. Of course, we started a little bit behind time. All my fault. Just ripping and running. Some of you might know what I do for a living. If you don't know, I might tell you later. But I'm just tied up all day and had to rush over here to get this show done. And so I'm a little behind, but it's okay. We know I don't have a whole lot to talk about anyway. I ain't know, like, I used to have a plan when I come up in the studio, but, usually, I shouldn't say used to, I should say I usually have a plan. But today is just kind of, just kicking it. We just going to have just a hodgepodge of stuff. There's a lot going on in the world that we can talk about. Some of the things we can talk about actually on air. And I'm going to talk about some of those things. But, right now we're gonna just gonna give you the normal stuff because we got about 1 minute before we go to our first break, and that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna keep our breaks, right at the same time, and but this got to start off by saying that I really want to appreciate. In Touch News, the In Touch News family for creating this platform and this opportunity for the Life Malcolm show. By the way, I'm your host, Life Malcolm, and just really want to appreciate DJ CEO and Mrs. DJ CEO, a.k.a. Tampa Bay Tammy, for making this possible. If it was not for them and all their hard work over the course of years of putting out a newspaper and now providing and presenting this, radio, video, podcast platform, we wouldn't have the Life Malcolm, so I wouldn't be able to talk to you every Tuesday night like I do. And I really want to appreciate that. It's important. I want to appreciate my man behind the boards, the mystery man. Some of y'all, it might not be a mystery to some of y'all. Some of y'all been calling me like, "Hey, was that him?" I'm like, "Hey," right now it's the mystery man. Really want to appreciate him for making sure that when I get here we can start. And definitely appreciate you for tuning in, listening. In case you don't know, I'm not sure how you're watching or listening right now, but you can check us out on YouTube at the In Touch News YouTube channel. You can also check us out on Facebook on the In Touch News Facebook page. And, of course, you can go to In Touch News, www.intouchnews.com. Is that right? In Touch News, Radio In Touch News, intouchnews.com, and, check us out there. So you can also call in, too. And I want you to call in, holler at me. Holler at your boy, right? 813-444-9588. 813-444-9588. Go ahead, give me a holler. And, we could talk about whatever you want to talk about tonight. Call in and ask me a question and see see if I have an answer. Matter of fact, I'm about to put that on Facebook when we go to break and see. Just tell people to just ask me a question, and I'm going to read the question. And then I give the answer on air because some of y'all act like y'all phone shy. I can't say camera shy, but phone shy. You won't call in and holler at your boy. I don't know why. Then some people say because I might overtalk the caller, or sometimes I have to challenge what the call. Hey, this how I'm getting better. Work. If the more practice I get, the better I get. So call in if you want to at 813-444-9588. But I'm about to go to my social media and tell the people to send me questions that they want me to address on the air. A lot of people have a lot of questions about things, and hell, I just need to call my daughters. They'll ask me a bunch of questions. They always do. I'll tell you something about my daughters when we get back. But right now, I'm about to go to break, and we'll see you in just a few ticks. This is the Life Malcolm Show, y'all. Appreciate your time.
St. Petersburg, Florida, get ready. DAT Entertainment LLC presents A Night to Remember, Saturday, June the 4th at 7 p.m. at the Florida National Guard Armory, 3601 38th Avenue South, St. Petersburg, Florida, 33711. And this will be a show you won't forget, featuring the Manhattans with Gerald Austin.
I had to meet you here today. Told the fellas I'm not going out tonight.
Award-winning comedian Chris the Mayor Thomas.
I saw this little white girl the other day. She said, "You have some big lips. I wish I had lips like yours." I said, "Bitch, hold still."
And R&B soul singer A. Renee.
At the casino. Let's go back to the way things used to be.
Advance admission $60. Door price is $75. VIP $90. And this is a BYOB affair. You can also reserve tickets now at Eventbrite. For ticket information, contact JT the Dancing DJ at 813-412-0435. And for more info, call 727-486-3702. DAT Entertainment LLC presents A Night to Remember, Saturday, June the 4th, with a Manhattan featuring Gerald Austin.
By now, we're all aware of the dangers of COVID-19. Like others with existing health issues, cancer patients are at a high risk due to their compromised condition. If you are newly diagnosed with cancer, your care likely can't wait. Moffitt Cancer Center is the best place for your cancer concerns and to provide guidance to help you plan your next steps. We're here for you. Call 1-888-456-2839 or go to moffitt.org/here for you.
All right. What's up, world? All right. So, as you can see, I'm in my phone trying to just tell people, just ask me questions. And see what comes up.
I got a question for you.
Okay, I'm with it. Let's go.
Why are you an attorney?
Oh, Lord. That's an interesting story. So, I think it's interesting. A lot of people, it's not deep. Let me warn you, it's not deep. So, what happened was my son was struggling with the whole idea of school, and I gotta admit that I didn't really at that time understand the importance of formal education. I didn't. And quite frankly, because I didn't understand the role that formal education plays, the tool that formal education is, I didn't give it a lot of respect. Mind you, I graduated from Jesuit High School in 1992. Matter of fact, this past weekend, we had our 30th year reunion anniversary thing. And Tampa Jesuit is a big deal for a lot of people, certainly in the Tampa area. And I graduated there. I had an appointment to the United States Naval Academy. Me and the Navy didn't work out, and then I went to Morehouse College in Atlanta. So I've been around education, but my mother didn't make it. She didn't go to college, and my father didn't make it past the second grade. Maybe the first. I know he made it out of the first grade. I'm not sure how far he got in second grade, but he didn't make it to the third. So but I saw him do well, and I was able to, even after dropping out of college, do all right for myself. Certainly, as a brick mason, laying brick, block, stone, and made good money doing that, and then started doing poetry full time, and made really good money doing that, traveling all around the country. And so, and around that same time, I began to learn and understand that in every society, formal education only serves two purposes for that society. That is to make make people capable contributors to the society, good workers for that society, and to underpin the 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 philosophy, the ideals, the belief system of that society. That's what education does. That's why That's why you hear more about Martin Luther King Jr. than you hear about Malcolm X. We talked about Malcolm X last week because Malcolm X was a revolutionary and anti-colonialist, and he wasn't gonna pledge allegiance. He tell you straight off he's not American. So you'll hear more about stuff that goes along with the status quo in any society. That's any society, whether we're talking, revolutionary society like China once was, like the USSR once was. Whether you're talking about that or whether you're talking about here, that's how it was. So, coming into that understanding, I kind of had I guess like a rebellious kind of attitude toward formal education. But I had formal education, had the advantage of it, and I used to be in the mindset like I have regrets. No, I used to say I don't have regrets. Matter of fact, I got a tattoo say guilty of sin, no regrets, and that's cool when you're 20. If you don't have no regrets when you're 20-something, hey, makes sense. But if you're 47 years old and you don't have no regrets, something wrong with you, bro. And so now I have regrets, and one of the things I regret is that I did not make formal education important to my children. And I keep saying formal education because I educated them. Like, we read at home. They all knew how to read before they went to school. All my children knew how to read before they went to school. My children know more about the world than most children that age right now. Because we educated them at home. So like I was like, what? The school, y'all just go there because really I need to go to work. So I need y'all to go there, and while you're there, behave and do your best while you're there. But I didn't really stress because I didn't understand the importance of formal education. And believe it or not, I just didn't. My parents didn't have the ability to impart that to me. So here's the thing: what happened is my son always wanted to be like me. And everything I did, he wanted to do. So now that he's in high school and he sees me flying all around the country, selling books and CDs, and he with me sometimes. I'm like Mr. Celebrity Superstar in Tampa, certainly. And he just kind of thought that it just flowed to him, and he could just go around be Mr. Celebrity Superstar, but he didn't see the fact that I did go to Jesuit and make the honor roll. I did go to Naval Academy Preparatory School and make the honor roll. I did go to Morehouse and make the honor roll. Like, he didn't see those things and like the homework, the studying and stuff like that. And so because I did not like how he approached formal education, and I knew that he wanted to be like me, I decided to go back to school. I dropped out of Morehouse in 94 when I thought I was going to be like a big-time rapper. I dropped out, and so I still had some more college to do in order to get a degree. So I decided that I would go back to college so that Young Life would be able to see me as an example of academic excellence. And when I made that decision...
How old was Life then?
That time, 2013 is when I went back. So Life would have been 16 at that time. Life was 16. Life was 16 when I went back to I think I went back. I don't know. He might have been 17 because I think I went back in 2014. I think I went back in 2000. Yeah, I went back in 2014. I was 39 years old when I went back to college. And so Life would have been 17 at that time, 16 turning 17. And or he might have just turned, because his birthday was May 7th, so he might have turned 17. No, he was 16 because I started in the fall. So I started in January at HCC, and he turned 17 in 2014. So, but anyway, so he went back. I mean, I went back. He was old enough to go to Gary Adult. Like I said, he wasn't taking that junk. He wasn't taking school seriously. Look at me, not taking it seriously. He wasn't taking school seriously. And so, at the time, my wife my fiance, I ran the idea by that I wanted to go back to school and to be an example for Young Life. And she was like, "Hey, that's not no good reason to spend all that money. If you gonna go spend all that money, to go to college and get a 4-year degree, you got to do something else to get the degree. Then get the degree. Like, you got to do something. You got to make it worth something. You just can't get a 4-year degree talking about you want to be some kind of example, And my wife she's a doctor, and people know. So like she understood the importance, the utility of formal education, and I remember I would go to these functions. I think they called it the Collective or something at the Bank of America building downtown, and they'd be like, "What's your background?" I'd be like, "Well, my mama from Tampa, my father from Meridian, Mississippi. I'm not." But then I hear the conversations around the table. They like, somebody said, "What's your background?" "Oh, I have a BA in this and the MBA in that and the PhD." I said, "Oh, background." So then when they come to me, I got it. Now they say, "What's your background?" "I do this poetry show and I got some CDs I could sell you at this backpack." Like that's my background. I started kind of feeling, some kind of way like, I don't have a background.
A little less than.
Not really that. Just I felt like I was
unimportant.
Like I was an embarrassment to my future wife, because I'm the only one in here who don't have no background. Like, you know what I mean? So I didn't feel less than, because I was like, if they come over here, then it's a different kind of thing. But I just felt some kind of way like, oh, I don't have no background, and the fact that I didn't even know what they meant when they said it is, is definitive of my ignorance of the significance of formal education, certainly in a society, right? And so my wife says, like, you just can't get no 4-year degree. You're gonna go and get a degree. You have to do something else. And I was like, well, I'm not gonna be a doctor. I'm not gonna go to med school. Because man, look, I'm 39 years old. It's late in the game. I ain't got no time to be in school for 8 more years before I get my whole career started. And my wife said, well, it only takes 3 years to be a lawyer. I said, well, I'll do that then. And that's how I got to be a lawyer, just like that. She said, it only takes 3 years. I'll be like, I'll do that. And so, man, and it's funny, man. I was in undergrad at USF. People like, well, what you gonna do when you leave USF? I'm like, I'm gonna go to law school. And they're like, oh, God bless you. You gonna make it. Just hold on. Just don't give up. And I'm wondering why these people talking to me like this. Like, what? Why are they saying this to me? I mean, you might have been one of the people. Like, you can do it. It's gonna be all right. I'm like, what is wrong with these people? Because I didn't know nothing about. I just thought you just go to school and be a lawyer. You graduate your undergrad, you fill out the application, and you go to law, get accepted. I'd never been rejected from anything before. Not accepted.
Just let me just say that you are unique in that a lot of people don't have the skill set to just go to law school, take the LSAT, pass it, get accepted. A lot of that comes into play, and it goes back to your mother preparing you for this, because
I agree.
Quite frankly, you are a rarity. You went straight through without. I'm not going to say you didn't have any challenges, but a lot of people flunk out of law school.
Yeah.
That's why it's been said, "Oh, okay,
Yeah,
I
didn't know.
Okay,
A lot of people don't get accepted to law school.
That's exactly right.
and I didn't realize that, because I had never had that experience. You know what I mean? I applied to Morehouse, got right in. The Naval Academy, man, look, I don't know if it was a crime or not. The statute of limitations got to be over. But when I went to the Naval Academy, when I got appointed to the Naval Academy, I got appointed to play football, and you have to get generally the what they call it when you go to the Naval Academy, the midshipman candidate has to have congressional recommendations. you know, in order to get to the academy, like you have to have 2 congressional recommendations from the state you live in. And I ain't do that. I didn't have, I did not do that at all. They pulled if I remember correctly, they pulled my recommendations from like Alaska and Hawaii, like one of the ones, like the states that they didn't, to make it happen for me, you know. And when I went to Morehouse, I applied, got right in, like no problem. I don't even think I ever got turned down from a job. When I applied to a job, I got the job. You know, so like applying and not getting it was like a strange idea. You know?
But you know, the truth of the matter is that had you gone through the Naval Academy, I mean, you probably would have been a general or a lieutenant or colonel. I don't know how high the rank goes. But
admiral. In the Navy, it was an admiral.
You probably would
might have been the president of the United States. But
might have been.
But the problem is,
it's not too late for that.
But the problem is, I just would have been white power in black face. I never would have learned how to be the African that I am
that
right
you
now.
are now.
Yeah, and so I don't.
So does that make you more equipped? No. What does that make you more equipped for?
Oh man, it's just to understand the world in which we live, the society in which we live, and like so when people find, like I posted something on Instagram the other day, for example, I'm just riding in my community where I live in the what some people like white people and like I guess proper Africans call it Seminole Heights, but I call it Robles Park because that's what we called it when I grew up in Ybor City. We called that over there Robles Park because it's right by Robles Park Project. My house is right behind the Robles Park, and so I call it Robles Park. So I'm in Robles Park, and you know, biking, y'all, if you from Tampa, even if you're not from Tampa, it made national news. You heard of the whole biking while black idea, you know, where if you on a bicycle and you don't have a light, or you on a bicycle and you don't, you know, or you on a bicycle and like somebody riding on the handlebars of your bicycle, the police pull you over, shake you down, and you know, next thing you know, you got some kind of ticket, or if you have a warrant, you're in handcuffs, that kind of thing. And I see this guy in the same neighborhood riding on the back of a garbage truck. He's just holding on with one hand. And I'm like, you know, how? But the city would tell us the reason why they do the biking while black thing, like you can't be on the handlebars because it's not safe. But at the same time, they got city employees who can hang off of the back of a moving city vehicle. Like, it just looked so dangerous when I saw it, right? But, you know, and I think you might have heard me talk about it, where like people will, the only difference between the Confederate flag and the American flag is that the American flag has done brutality to people before the Confederate flag, during the relevance of the Confederate flag, and after the Confederate period. Like the brutality of the violence, the culture of violence of the American flag, or the violence that has occurred under the American flag far outlasts the Confederate flag. But there are African people and others who have feel some kind of way about the Confederate flag, but will love and pledge allegiance to the American flag. And so because, and I used to be one of them. I was like this right here. I was a better white boy than the white boys I went to school with, and
I don't believe that.
Oh, I was better. I promise you, because they don't have to care. They don't have to care.
No,
man,
no.
Boy,
I can't see Life Malcolm being none other than who you are right now.
Man, you should have seen me.
As a matter of fact, ever since I've known you, you've been the militant life that I know you.
Yeah, that was because you met me after 1993. That's when the transformation happened.
You're not that old, Life.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying I'm that old, but I'm saying up until 1993. I thought that I was an American. I thought I was like the white boy. I was outside putting on sunscreen.
You are an American.
No.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
I reject that. I am an African in America.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I don't. I reject that, and I you know, and we can talk about it in the deepest ways you want to. I mean, because it doesn't make sense. I am not an American. As a matter of fact, to say I'm an American uh, uh, would assign me some possessory interest of this land, right? Because that's what Americans do. And that is an issue for the people who are indigenous to this land, who the Americans stole the land from.
Wait,
And I'm-
so
just
you
saying,
say you're indigenous. So indigenous means that you were born on a particular land, and so you are an indigenous
First.
to
First.
Okay.
Yeah, born that you were the first people in the land. Not that you were just born there.
No, you're indigenous to the Tampa Bay area. Were you born here?
I was born here.
Okay, so that's
That's not
you're
in-
indigenous
That's not
to
indigenous.
here.
That's not indigenous.
Okay.
No, because if you were to go to Japan,
Okay, go ahead.
all
Finish
right,
your thought.
you were to go to Japan. Well, I know now it might be a little past you. Let me say that. If your children were to go to Japan
Okay.
and have a baby in Japan, assuming that they two Africans, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your two African children have a baby in Japan. The baby Japanese.
That baby has
Is
Japanese.
the baby Japanese?
The baby.
Come on now, that's what I'm saying now. Come on now, it's a yes or no question now. It's straightforward. Come on now. There's a scripture in the Bible that says yay or nay. Anything other than that cometh of evil. That means you got some trickery.
Look.
Come on now.
That's some trickery.
Ain't nobody gonna look at that. I tell you
That's
what,
some
you gonna be
trickery.
the only one that look at the baby and say he Japanese. Everywhere he go, they gonna say he
black.
African or black or something. They ain't gonna say he Japanese.
Well, let me say this.
Yeah.
Let me say this.
Right.
Like,
somehow when we get over here,
Look.
just because we born here, then all of a sudden we
look,
American.
look,
we go,
when, when you leave here
Leave
and
here.
go to another country,
Yep.
it is the only time you feel American. Now, well, the first time I left and flew abroad was the first time I realized I felt like an American. And I was 60. I'm 65 now.
Okay.
So that's the first time I felt the privilege of being an American. Okay.
Okay.
So I've been living in this country for 60 years, so I understand your feeling of not claiming America as your home.
America is my home.
Or, I'm sorry,
But
as
I-
America is in your heart. It is not there.
It's not this kind of abstract, emotional, idealistic thing. It's a material reality. I am an African
No,
in America.
So
It's
why
not
is
a
it
feeling.
material? What do you say when you mean material?
Because I have a phenotype.
What does that mean?
There is a look, phenotype. You got phenotype and genotype. Genotype is your genes, your DNA and all that stuff. Your phenotype is the physical characteristics associated with your genetic makeup. So the phenotype for African people, generally speaking, of course we come in all shades, colors, sizes, all this stuff. But generally speaking, we have broad foreheads, broad noses, thick lips, shapely bodies, melanin, and that protect our skin. These are phenotypical things. The thick hair, curly hair that defies gravity. Without gel. GEL. We have fast twitch muscles. There's a phenotype. Like when you look. Again, if you look at the Asian person, maybe you might not be able to say Chinese or Japanese, but you sure gonna know if his eyes look like this right here that he Asian, and you're not confused by that. When you see that person, you don't know whether that person was born in America or not. When you see him based on the phenotype, the physical characteristics, you say he Asian. Period. You don't say, let me see your birth certificate before I can tell you whether you're Asian. That's not what we do. But when it comes to us, we do that. And I remember working construction. I told you I used to work construction. And, of course, we got a lot of Hispanic people who work construction. And I remember one time, I used to remember his name, but I can't remember his name. But I remember at one time, a guy I used to work with on a daily basis, really close. He had a baby. And the baby was born. He's Mexican. The baby was born here, of course. my coworker was Mexican, his wife Mexican. The baby was born here, and I said, hey, so your baby born here? So she American? He said, no, no, Mexicana, no Americana, Mexicana. I said, right on. And I think we ought to have that kind of sense too. And we'll talk a little bit more about that when we get back from the break, man. I really appreciate y'all tuning in. Let me see if I got any text questions in the meantime. Look, Mr. Life Malcolm Show right here on In Touch News, 448-134-444-9588. We'll highlight you on the other side of the break.
Hey, this is Agent Wright, better known as Mr. Clean. You looking for some great barbecue? Come see them two brothers in the grill, located at 423 Virginia Street, Charleston, West Virginia. We got ribs, chicken, pulled pork, brisket, collard greens, mac and cheese, baby. Come get some and get you a nice, smooth cigar. 304-550-4431. That is 304-550-4431. Come get some, baby. The Rib Man, mama, the Rib Man.
St. Petersburg, Florida. Get ready. DAT Entertainment LLC presents A Night to Remember, Saturday, June the 4th at 7 p.m. at the Florida National Guard Armory, 3601 38th Avenue South, St. Petersburg, Florida, 33711. And this will be a show you won't forget, featuring the Manhattans with Gerald Austin.
I had to meet you here today. Told the fellas I'm not going out tonight.
Award-winning comedian Chris the Mayor Thomas.
I saw this little white girl the other day. She said, you have some big lips. I wish I had lips like yours. I said, bitch, hold still.
And R&B soul singer A. Renee.
Sleep with one eye open. It's at the casino. Let's go back to the way things used to be.
Advance admission $60. Door price is $75. VIP $90. And this is a BYOB affair. You can also reserve tickets now at Eventbrite. For ticket information, contact JT the Dancing DJ at 813-412-0435. And for more info, call 727-486-3702. DAT Entertainment LLC presents A Night to Remember, Saturday, June the 4th, with a Manhattan featuring Gerald Austin.
Yo. All right. Really want to appreciate you being here with us at In Touch News, where everybody is a star, and the biggest star is you. It's the Life Malcolm Show, and I'm your host, Life Malcolm. Been sitting here, man, just talking about nationalism, because that's what it really is about. Last week we heard from Malcolm when he talked about nationalism and what revolution means, and the difference between the Black Revolution and the African Revolution. I mean, nationalism, land. We have to be able to understand who we are. I saw with my own eyes one time a bird on a leash. I did. And I mean, there's something wrong with that bird. You see, I'm not lying. I wouldn't make this up. It's something wrong with a bird. And the bird would walk up the steps, not fly up the steps. It would walk up the steps, and that's how some of us are. We like a bird on a leash. I remember Cat Williams had a joke where he talked about, the tiger. When they say that was it Cat? Might have been Cat, but I think Chris Rock had one too. He didn't go crazy. He went tiger. I think that was the line Chris Rock said. But it's just how tigers in a zoo, you can't get mad at the tiger when you stick your head. No, they don't do that. They do it to lions in the circus. How you get mad at the lion when the lion bites your head off, or the orca? What they call the killer whale. Killer whale, that's what they call him, killer whale. And he was at SeaWorld, and he done, that white woman messing with him, and he done grabbed her by the ponytail and did what they say he do. And took him all the way down. I forgot his name, too. He was I figured he was, he was fighting colonialism with I can't remember his name. I'll find out. They called him Shamu, but that one is that's not his killer whale name. They drug her down there and did what he's supposed to do. And so a lot of times we get so far away from our natural habitat. And in the African case, from our national habitat of Africa and Africanism. And we can see everybody, we like, that's a Mexican. That's a. Some of it's real good. We can say he Chinese, he Japanese, he Vietnamese, he Filipino. Some of us good enough to do that. But when it come to our own African self, we look at us and get confused. Like,
So what's the word? So the world is mixed now, Life. So you got all kind of races mixing. So what you gonna call them?
but it's not about the mixed race, right? I had a client the other day who said, "Yo," and he looked. He looks mixed, if you will, but he got curly hair. He's darker complected, but he said his father told him to put white on his driver's license. Like, look, for when they put what's your race, put white on there, because he understands that there's a difference. The other day, I was listening to some news program, some broadcast, and somebody said something like, I could tell you, it was the Steve Harvey Morning, so that's really the only thing I listened to. And so I was listening, and they talked about this guy in, was it Baltimore? Was it, no, Brooklyn? The guy that went and shot a bunch of people. Was it Brooklyn? No, it was New York. It was New York, because he went from, I think, upstate New York to something and shot like 14 people at the grocery store and killed 10. It was. I think it's New York. But all right, well, either way, this guy, right? The question came up, like, how is it that he gets to, how the police take him in without killing him? Because the police show up and shoot an African, and they said, like, one of the calls was like, it must be some kind of code word. No, you know what? I don't know if it was a Steve Harvey Morning, so it might have been a local station. Because now I think I remember who said that. But like, it must be some kind of code word when they make the 911 call, and like, he was probably on to something, but he was wrong when he suggested the code word was white. No, the code word ain't. It's a white, because they give the description when they call in. But the code word is black. Because the domestic military in this country, known as the police, known as the sheriff's department, they know that there is a difference between white and black. They know that black means colonized subject, and they treat colonized subjects different. It's an 18-year-old boy with the assault rifle. He had a camera on his head or something. That's the story I'm looking for. He had some writing on his gun, went to the grocery store. I think it was somewhere in New York. But yeah, the thing is, the domestic military, these people who volunteer, they don't get the police. They not drafted. They volunteer to participate in this culture of violence perpetrated by America against the rest of the people of the world. And when they hear the description, if it says black, Buffalo, yeah, okay, yeah, New York, yeah. So when it says, because I know he drove from somewhere to New York and went to another, he drove 3 hours or some, 2 hours, yeah, something like that, yeah. So, but they know. They know we the only one, and that is a serious issue for African people in this country. The fact that we don't recognize, appreciate, and accept the fact that although we are in America, we are not Americans. Like Malcolm said, if you was an American, you wouldn't catch no hell. And that's. They know the difference. And when I say they know, I'm talking about the domestic military, the police, the sheriff department, even the judges. They know the difference between colonized and colonizers and colonized subjects. They know the difference. And every time, because it's the only way to keep the most of us in this country are of. At least I guess they saying now, is the Hispanics, and like you said, it's a lot of mixed whatever. But even though they call us minorities, the minorities so-called minorities are in the majority. You know, it's more of us than it is them, right? In this country, and they know they have to do the most brutal stuff to us to keep us in check. They don't have to. They thump lightly when it comes to their own stuff, but when it comes to us, shoot you down because mistake. Thought your cell phone was a gun. I thought my taser was my gun. Hell, I thought your house was my house. I mean, the Amber Geiger chick. Hell, I shot him because I thought he was in my house. When I was in his house, but that don't happen to, colonized people, to the colonizers, and they know. And if we knew, then we would move differently. I would hope. Like that boy, what's that boy name in Atlanta that was running around?
He was jogging.
Yeah. He just running around like he just running around loose.
But
like,
what
make him think he could just be running around loose in America? Like, it's just nothing. Oh, what was that boy's name? It's just so many of us. I can't.
It's so many of us.
Yeah, but I can't remember his name. I think of it, but I'm just saying, come on now.
Well, listen.
Come on now. You just can't be running around loose.
Yes, you can.
Well, you saw what happened.
I did.
Okay.
I did.
So I'm going to say you can't. Well, I guess you can, but it's not smart. Yeah.
Well, we just have to be a little more cautious. No, a lot more cautious.
Right on.
If your skin is dark, if your skin has color, you have to be cautious in America. Period.
And you should be carrying too. You know what I mean?
And you should, you should be carrying.
Cautious and carrying, and
yes, you should
travel in pairs. I mean, this is stuff that we, but we don't do that because we think.
No, we do that.
A lot of us think we are Americans and just run around. What's that boy's name?
I think the vast majority of people of color know who they are.
Well, I mean, what makes you think that?
Well,
Ahmaud Arbery.
Ahmaud Arbery.
Yeah.
So I think most people know who they are. Now, the higher they go, the less they lose their identity. But from middle class down, I would say, let me rephrase that. Lower middle class down, I think most of us know who we are. But the higher you go, the more people have a tendency to lose their identity and think they belong in the colonized society. I would,
as much as I want to agree, I would say that right now, even today, you go to any school from, starting with kindergarten. They have the students put their hand over their heart,
right,
and say the Pledge of America.
Of allegiance.
What is it? The Pledge of, what is it called? The Pledge of Allegiance. Mm-hmm. And it says, I pledge allegiance to America or something. However it go. I'm glad I forgot
the United States of America.
I don't want to remember.
And
don't
to the Republic for which you stand. What they drill it in.
But I'm saying, I just drilled it out. You trying to pour it back in. Hey, but yes, but from 3 years, so they inculcate that.
Right.
Yeah.
I get it.
And so I'm going to tell you that most, even in lower middle class schools and lower,
right,
they teach that.
Yes.
Yeah, and so we think that until something happens to make us smart enough to know that we ain't that.
Ain't that. But so back to your point. It happens to us early.
Right on.
So early in life we understand that we don't quite fit in this society, that we are not quite part of this society. We know that early on, and we are reminded every day on a daily basis that you ain't quite fitting here, but you here.
No, see, I'm gonna say this, Daryl. I think that might have been true for you.
Oh no.
Listen what I'm saying.
Okay.
Because I think it's a generational difference. Because did you grow up before integration? Did you go to segregated schools?
I went to a segregated school.
Right,
Integration was in 73. I graduated in 74. We had 2 white folks in our school.
Okay, so for me, it was a little different. It's kind of like I grew up in that era that was something like when Obama happened. It was like post-racial. You know, like now Obama president's a post-racist.
It was a mix.
When I'm growing up, it's integration. We all one.
Yes.
You know, it wasn't that, you know, you different. Like you can be anything. You can do everything. Like, you know, I'm reading the books. I'm like, why is only one Negro in this book? Like Martin Luther King Jr. All the history books had two
on page
Negroes.
456.
Martin Luther King Jr. and Jesse Owens. Them the only, and maybe the baseball Negro, Jackie Robinson. You know, that's it. You know, you don't hear nothing about Patrice Lumumba. Jomo Kenyatta, the Don Kamati. You know, the Mao. You know, you don't hear nothing
I don't
about
know them
France
either.
Fanon.
I don't know who they are.
Yeah, I'm saying none of us knew it either. You know, how this a lot. You know, we weren't taught that.
Right,
And you know, Jean-Jacques Dessalines. You know, the Haitian Revolution, the first and only successful revolution of, you know, African people. You know what I mean? We know nothing about it.
And now they pay for it over and over and over again.
Purchase. They teach you about the Louisiana Purchase, but they don't teach you that France had to sell that to the United States because the
Haitians
people kicked their ass and they broke them. You know, and they had to give it up. You know,
right.
And so we don't learn that kind of stuff. And so, but I'm saying, like, integration, and you've heard it before, that things got worse for us after integration in a lot of ways. Yeah, and so I'm saying because before, and so that's the only reason why I say, like, you know, that was you, not you just like personally, but like your era where there was this, you know, where this the line was clear. But man, I really appreciate those questions. Some people ask me some questions, but I ain't got no time. But I'm gonna table them, and I promise I'll get to them next week. We gonna answer some more questions. I appreciate the question that you asked today. Look, I really enjoyed talking with you. We got to get up off the station and make room for our other fellow programmers. But I really want to appreciate you joining the Life Malcolm show today. Looking forward to next week. It's been a great month too, man. You know, shout out to Young Life. This is birthday month. Shout out to Chris Ramsey. This was his death month. You know, shout out to Malcolm and all the stuff we did with that. And I just really appreciate y'all. And we'll see y'all next week. Looking forward to it. It's Life Malcolm Show.
Yeah.